enjoyed the guitar.
Could you play it?
No.
I could get it because you have.
Yeah.
All right.
That would go well.
What do we need to label first? Character. What do we got?
Laid back.
Laid back.
Chill.
Chill. I like that Charlotte's got her musical character words out. Are there a couple more there that could fit?
In the middle of happy and happy with energy. It's not quite
Okay.
calm.
Well, because the way they're playing, they have energy.
I found it dramatic.
Dramatic.
Okay.
I would have said relaxed.
Relaxed. Yep.
I found
You're
it
looking at the sad.
I
I think I'm looking in the wrong spot.
Warm. So warm's a tone color reference.
I found it
So-
soaring tone colour.
Oh, you're jumping to tone color. Okay.
Do we think?
Where's-
Soaring?
Soaring is a good one. I like soaring. Yeah, I think that definitely fits.
Not dramatic.
Not quite dramatic. All right. Some really good character words coming out there. Now I'm going to guide you to the next part of this, and I'm going to split it up. If you've done it another way, don't stress too much. But can we split it up into melody, tone, color, rhythm? Give it a third of the sheet each, and I'm actually going to guide you through that way. So melody first, tone, color, and then rhythm, and then within that you could break it down further into what do you think?
For different instruments.
The different instruments. Perfect. Because there aren't actually that many. What do we have?
We only have 4.
Electric guitar, piano, drums,
And
and bass.
bass.
But the
Beautiful.
bass guitar had 5 strings.
Yeah, it still only counts as one instrument.
I thought that was so cool.
We have duh.
Because
Yeah.
I wasn't even sure.
Five
what
string-
kind of
five-string
guitar.
bass.
I have like
Put it on the shopping list, Darcy.
I got a 5-string
Oh,
Does it have an extra one on top? Or
Extra on the bottom.
bottom.
String.
Yeah, so it goes a bit
so you
higher.
got a B string on the top.
Great for funk. You can do some roaring solos with
then
it.
E, then A.
All right, cool. So our first element of music that we're going to talk about is melody. What instrument should we do first?
The guitar.
Maybe the guitar. Why?
Is it
That
like
was
the
like
melody?
It is the melody. Actually, in fact, are there any other instruments playing melody in there?
No.
Not really. I don't think so.
Maybe the drums were actually
Do-
like
They're more of a
They're more of a
support, but like it makes a kind of layer of the song.
I'm just wondering if the piano did anything.
No, it just does dirt a little.
It's really just. I think it's just supportive chords. I'm going to go with the guitar. The guitar owns the melody for the whole thing. So in melody, we're only talking about the electric guitar. Does anyone have those people who bought their stuff? Not rubbing it in or anything. Do we have that chart that lays out what you can talk about with melody?
Let's have a squeeze.
And while you're looking for that, those guys who didn't bring their stuff, do you remember
This one.
what were the various elements of melody that we can talk about?
Shape,
Wait, does it mean like as in?
What's the other word for that?
tonality?
contour.
Contour, melodic contour is one.
Melodic contour, all look at all these words.
Yeah. Take that, guys.
As in like tonality and things like that. Is that what?
Tonality is one.
So
Like climax,
Climax you could talk about, that's sort of part of contour, yep.
register,
Register,
range.
good. Range,
Get off my sheet. Hugo, yeah, look at me.
I'm
Brought
drawing
up.
on it. Come on.
Hugo, we just had a discussion. What did we say
What
the
do you do?
character was?
alright.
So
So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to talk about these...
What was the word you say? Soaring. There you go. Write that down.
We're going to talk about these melodic elements sort of one after the other. You don't feel you have to get ahead of me. I'm sort of guiding you through it and doing it with you. So, let's go melodic contour. In terms of contour, what have we got? How would you describe it?
Flowing.
It's pretty flowing, isn't it? Yeah. Are there big intervallic leaps or are the intervals relatively small?
Small.
Mostly fairly small, aren't they? Watch a little bit.
And then they just move higher up the register. She starts on low.
Starts in the low register. Yep. Where is she now?
Mid to high.
Mid register. Mid to high. Yep. So in terms of registers, is it a narrow range or a broad range?
Broad.
Very broad. Yep. She's using the whole instrument, isn't she? So we've got register and range. Melodic contour, we're saying it's fairly flowing. But intervals are generally pretty small, yeah? We said? We agree on that? What else is there in melody to talk about? So if we've done range, we've done register, we've done melodic contour. Climax we haven't done, because I probably need to play that bit again. What else haven't we done? There's another one, starts with PH. Phrasing. What is phrasing?
Like
The beats.
the short,
The
long,
bits.
irregular, contrasting, repeated, balanced, recurring, extended, moderate length.
Yeah, okay, alright, cool. So
Just read all of those out.
can we all have a listen and just focus on phrasing and we'll talk about that. See if you can tell me how long the phrases are. In bars, preferably.
I'd say 8. Because it goes, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, but then in parts because she repeats it, it takes 8 bars to then go back to
Ah, I see what you're saying. Yep. What you're talking about there is a section, not a phrase.
Yeah.
Alright?
They're fairly fast.
Think about it. Imagine when you're speaking, how long is a phrase? This is a phrase. Yeah, a sentence can sometimes have several phrases in it, because you might have a comma in the middle.
So it's broken up by punctuation.
Anyone want to have a stab at how long a phrase is in this? They're pretty balanced. They're very balanced, actually.
4
For what?
bars.
Nah, you're a bit less.
Beats. 2 bars.
4 beats. They're literally a bar long. I'll give you an example. Ba-da-da-da-da. That's a phrase. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da. See, it's only 4 beats long.
Yeah.
So the phrases are pretty short and they're very consistent. Even when she goes up and solos, diddle-a-diddle-a-diddle, like she's right up high and soloing away, they're still only 4 beats long. See if I can find that. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. So you can hear the separation of phrases, even though there's not necessarily a rest or a pause between them, but you can really hear her accent the first note of each phrase. She's making it really obvious. Students find phrasing probably the harder to talk about of the melodic pieces, I find. Did we have a climax in there?
It's all kind of climax.
It's all kind of climaxy.
But it sort of builds up. It does build up around.
I can see a high bit there. I wonder if that's something. Let's have a look. Not really. Maybe back here.
Maybe it was just after whenever the piano did a little high bit.
I reckon it does build up.
But it's always
I reckon this
Yeah, I think so.
she works slow next
Ooh. Good. All right. Good point. So, how is it approached? Is it approached with an intervallic leap, or does she work her way up?
It goes like
She walks her way up and then goes
Yep.
back down.
So it ascends and descends in a fairly flowing sort of manner. Yeah. Yep. Fair to say. So
Expressively.
you're right. Climax ascends and descends in a flowing manner. Now we're going to hit on the next part of melody, which Meg mentioned, which is tonality. What's tonality, guys? Just let you finish writing that.
Like if it's like major or minor.
Major or minor?
Pentatonic.
Good. Yep. What do we think?
Major.
It's very major, isn't it?
Very
Yeah. I think you're pretty... So major tonality. So, how much have we got already just talking about one instrument and the melody?
Like a lot.
I'm looking over there and I'm seeing half a page. So, and we haven't even started on the other instruments. So suddenly you realise, actually, there is a lot to talk about, and there's a lot you already know that you can talk about. It's just about applying it. Okay? We're going to go to tone colour now, and since we're on the electric guitar, we're going to start with the electric guitar.
Has anyone got a sharpener? Why?
To sharpen.
Someone got a sharpener for Darcy.
Have you got a sharpener?
I'll- Here's a pen, mate. Have a pen.
I'm not happy about catching stuff like this because yesterday Reese threw a compass at me.
I didn't
I'm
think
pointing
he was
one.
going to catch it.
I thought it was a pen. Reese threw a compass at me. Stabbed me right in there. See it? Well, look at that. Put A.
Fatally
Right.
wounded.
I know.
Man.
Right.
Fatally
That
wounded.
really hurt.
And what was your general character when you got hit by that?
Like that.
Trying to bring it back here.
Whining. That's what his character
General
was.
character.
All right, the tone color of the guitar. Tone color words. So those of you who bought your books today will have a list of tone color words. Maybe you could share some of them with us that you would apply to.
It was very homogenous. Screechy?
Screechy,
I don't think
Blended.
so.
Muffled.
blended.
As in, or apart from the guitar.
Okay, good. So it's blended apart from the guitar. That's really interesting because what does the guitar do then? If it's not blended, it's
It's very
Clear.
it's contrasting, so it
Leads.
so it sticks out in the mix. So yeah, because it's a lead instrument. Good. But we're talking about the guitar actually. So tone color words for the guitar itself. Thoughts?
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Yep, good.
A little bit distorted.
Distorted. It definitely is. It's more than a little bit actually, Charlotte.
Friendly.
Yeah.
And I'll show you something on that. If you look at this guitar,
Not hard enough distorted.
oh, actually, it's a single. It's got 3 pickups. It's got a humbucker at the back. Usually they create more. They got more. Just think there's 2 rows of little magnets, so it's sending more electrons down the wire, so you get a heavier, more distorted sound. But the other 2 are single coils. Now, if I look at her pickup switch down there, because it's fully forward that way, I can see that she's actually using that pickup, which would generally be a little bit less distorted than if she was using the humbucker closest to where I'm sitting. But distorted, perfect. So distorted, brilliant. There's a number of other words in there I think you could use. High is a melodic reference. High pitch.
Can we take this?
Range is a
into
melodic
our
reference.
Do we have any examples?
No, yes. You need to study that before your exam. Remember, you're not limited to these words either.
Could we take in like a summary sheet or something?
No.
Oh.
You-
Alright.
Oh, oh.
I think I'm sick of
Powerful? Is that a tone?
Not really a tone color word. No, I wouldn't use
Would
powerful.
silvery work?
Not quite. Not quite.
Raw. Resonant.
I don't even know what half of these.
Raspy.
Raspy, really?
Yeah. Yep. Have a listen.
Okay.
Oh, it's not quite raspy, is it? It's quite clear and clean. Crisp. Crisp. Crisp is a good word. I like crisp.
Yeah, let's just change this pickup there.
So these tone colors, what we need to start doing is putting these things into sentences. So what you would say is, for example, the clear, crisp, slightly distorted electric guitar contrasts with the warmer tone colors of the rest of the band.
What's this bit? Tone colour?
So this is tone. This is tone color. So Hugo, tone color is talking about how a sound sounds.
Yeah,
Yeah. As opposed to the melodic line, which we were talking about before. As we get better, we'll start trying to put everything into sentences.
Wait, what did you say? I missed.
Something along the lines of the clear, crisp guitar, or
Slightly.
the tone color of the clear, crisp guitar contrasts with the warmer tone colors of the band, or the rest of the band, if you like. Cool. All right. Let's keep doing tone color. Let's pick another instrument. Let's do the drum kit. Thing with the drum kit is, you know, if you've got a drum kit, there's always some similarities with this, isn't there? For example, the bass drum, as demonstrated there, in terms of tone color, has more of a what sort of sound?
Punchy, loud.
They could be punchy and loud. Is that one punchy and loud?
It's relaxed and
Groovy.
Softened, would you say?
It's a bit softer than punchy and loud that you might get from heavy metal or something like that, isn't it? Yeah. So just be careful, because would you say that's punchy and loud?
Oh, okay.
Probably not, because it's allowing the electric guitar to sit on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say the bass drum is a little bit more what?
standoffish.
Oh, what's the
A
word?
little more dull.
A bit more dull.
Reserved.
You could say that the instrumentalist is being more reserved with the drum kit. Yes, you could say that. I would probably use the word warmer. Yeah, the warm bass drum sounds warmer, which contrasts with other parts of the drum kit, doesn't it? So what are the other parts of our drum kit? Coming from next door. So the bass drum is always contrasting with the snare and the cymbals, isn't it? So let's listen to the snare. The snare sounds what? Tone color words?
Nice.
Crisp, clean, good.
Sounds like a really nice drum kit, actually.
Crisp, the crisp snare. The warm bass drum contrasts with the crisp snare. And there were toms just there. How would you describe the toms? Let's have a listen. Are they more like the snare or are they more like the bass drum?
More like the bass drum.
Good. They're more like the bass drum.
They're warm.
They're a warmer sound, aren't they? Yep. Good. Let's have a listen to the cymbals. Cymbals are a place where you can get some real difference between kits. I mean, you come with everything, but on the kit, but the cymbals, like a jazz kit cymbals, are very different to rock band kit cymbals.
Yeah.
Jazz cymbals will often ring for a really long time, and they let them sort of hang there. Tone color words for our, what's he using there? A ride cymbal or something.
What's the thing with all the holes there?
That just
Makes,
makes it nice.
yeah, can reduce.
Cheese.
That's a splash above the hi-hats there. It's called a splash. Mini ride. It's more like a mini crash. A splash. Splash, crash. See, they rhyme.
The one that looks like a ball.
That's the splash. How do our cymbals sound?
They're very low.
Tone color words. Look at your list. Low. So in drummer terms, they would call that dark. Dark. Call that a dark sound.
That's the red one.
Got some good.
What does a light
Metallic.
sound like? On
Well, metallic, yeah,
Dark would
yeah.
be like
It's
the
pretty obvious because they're always made of metal, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean,
So if we want to get a little bit more sophisticated, can we pick out some other words in that list? There are some there.
mellow.
No, I wouldn't use mellow.
Is this for no, they're all the same. Airy.
They are clear. Shrill is almost uncomfortable.
Silvery?
Nasal.
Yes.
Silvery.
Silvery I like.
So just associate any metallic.
Wait, what's this?
kind of
Tinkly.
What's like the name?
Tinkling,
of
it could be. Could be tinkling, especially those ones that sort of go forever.
Which
Yeah.
one
Okay.
are we talking about?
Yeah, so with this, the one that stands out to me are the ones that go for long, like the ride and the crash that is used, sort of goes on, you know.
Echoing.
No, they don't echo.
No, I probably wouldn't use that.
Green.
They don't really
Shimmering, silvery, I really like.
Wow.
Brilliant,
I spelled
shiny.
crash so wrong.
I would use almost delicate on the. Is it a ride symbol or a light sort of crash symbol he's got going there?
Trash.
Crash.
No.
All right.
Spelled
And you know, even when you get to year 11 or 12, if you're not a drummer and you pick up that he's using a splash symbol, you're doing pretty well. But now you know what one is. Did everyone see that? Everyone picked up on the splash symbol? Shall I show it again? Yeah.
What words did we agree on?
Silvery, shimmering, crisp. Splash is sitting there above the hi-hats.
With the holes in it.
Nah, the splash is really little one.
So like pause it so you can explain all the separate ones.
There it is.
One with the hole in it.
Last one is the big
Oh, the really small
We'll go
one.
with the dip in it.
It's the one above the snare, right, Miss Baker? Oh,
Okay, so
holes are what?
explain. Yeah, when I will.
Splash.
Oh.
It's little, and it makes like a really high pitch on top, right? He's got a whole selection of ride symbols over on the right hand side, and you can hear some of them just go for ages. Yeah, that's where sort of shimmering is a really good word. Yeah, as opposed to crash symbol, which usually a crash sound.
what's the one with the holes in it?
It's a ride symbol of sorts.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Quite often
ride
it's to
symbols are the
reduce
big ones,
the
right?
volume. But sometimes they're designed to also just hang for a long time. Yeah. It gets really interesting.
Have you seen the electric?
When you go to top class next year, if you're doing music next year, you see some really interesting cymbals and kits, and some of the jazz ones, and these cymbals that just sort of just go on and on and on. Amazing. All right, we need to move on. Bass guitars usually sound what in terms of tone color?
Low. Well, dark. Not dark.
Low is a pitch reference, so that's different. Warm is what I'm looking for. Do they always sound warm?
I was going to say dark.
No. What sorts of music do you think the bass guitar won't sound so warm in?
What's it? Disco.
Disco? Yep. So that sort of 70s disco funk thing where it really stands out. Think, sorry? Twangy? No.
I don't know.
A banjo is twangy.
So
It
it's like
could
a
be
higher-
dull. It could be.
Or like muted kind of.
Let's listen to this one though. And then what does the bass guitar, the warm bass guitar blends with what? The bass drum and the toms. Is it also blending with the keys a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how could you describe the tone color of the keys? It's hard because you can't hardly hear them. If they were shiny, I would be hearing them more in with the guitar, I would think. More blended. I wouldn't quite... I would expect that to stand out more than it is. And it's not to me. Delicate, yes. I'd agree with that. Feathery. Oh, could be. Yeah, you can almost use that on some of the cymbals, actually. Feathery. Yeah. All right, we've got to wind this up. So we're going to jump to rhythm now. Did anyone pick up on the time signature?
What's time signature? Oh,
Hold on, it's on.
How many beats? How many beats in a bar?
4.
4. So what's the time signature?
It's got the 4 and then another 4.
Good. 4/4.
I'm catching up.
All right. And what's our what do we call that? What's the proper name? Actually, there's two proper names.
Simple something.
Simple
Quadruple.
quadruple.
I was going
Simple quadruple.
Up there.
Yes.
It is written on the board right behind me. I did point to it. Simple quadruple. What's it also known as? 4/4. Because it's really common time. Common time. Simple quadruple. Both correct. 4/4 correct.
So is that the rhythm?
That goes under rhythm. What else can we say about rhythm? We could split this up into instruments as well. What? It's common time. Now, talking about rhythm, if we're to split that up into instruments, let's talk about the guitar first. What could we say?
What are we talking about?
The rhythm of the electric guitar.
It's going double time.
Good. Yes, so thinking about musical terminology, what does that mean? Like you say double time, so you mean twice as fast as the beat? What?
Would it be
So,
A
like,
No, it's still 4/4. But what Meg's saying is she's noted that the guitarist was playing twice as fast as the beat, which is correct. Twice as many notes. Musical terminology. Those people who've done note reading. Think note values. You can comment on note values.
Half semiquavers.
She's playing in semiquavers, but coming back to what Meg said, they're only
Half a beat.
half a beat. What are they called? Quavers. So she's using a mix of quavers and semiquavers, a mix of note values, quavers, semiquavers. Is she doing some long-held notes as well?
Yeah.
Semiquavers, quavers, and ba da 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 ba da 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 da. How long was that one? Ba da 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 da. 3, 4, 2. Yeah, so she's using a mix of, she's finishing phrases with minims, and then using a mix of quavers and semiquavers in her soloing, if you want to call it that. All right, let's skip to the bass guitar. Where's he playing? If you can notate a rhythm, that's worth marks. The bass, actually write the notes and the dots and the quavers.
like write a thing out and go. Da-da-da-da-da.
What I will do for this, I don't have my whiteboard marker. Hold on. There's a main rhythm the bass guitar here is sticking to. Can anyone sort of describe or hum it back to me or tell me sort of what that bass guitar is sticking to?
He's
Yeah.
sticking with the 4 beats. Boom, boom.
Yeah, good.
That's what I heard.
Right, let's have another play. I heard something slightly different to that. Let's just have a quick
I
listen.
wasn't paying attention to the bass.
No, it was very close, and I want to check. I want to see if it probably changes too. There's sort of a main figure. Yeah. Yep. All right. So we're all really close. What I'm hearing, the main figure he's using is bum, bum. Now he does a little bit of grace notes and embellishment in between. But what you could say is the main figure, and the word figure is a good word to use. His main figure is this bum, 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 bum. But what he often does is bum, bum, and then da da bum, bum, ba da 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 da. So he's like adding some extra notes in. But what you can do, well, it's almost in between the phrases, almost what we would call and response. So you'd have the electric guitar go ba da 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 ba 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 da ba da 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 ba ba. Yes, they're almost like talking to each other. Yeah.
Like echoing.
Taking turns.
We use the term call and response. Yeah. Yeah. So what I would say is the bass guitar is sticking to this general figure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Bum, 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 bum. So you got to work out where the notes are. Bum, bum, bum. That one's on and there. So we've sort of got.
Oh, okay, good. So you don't have to note the.
It's actually that. But you know what? If you put the beats in and get the notes in the right spot, if you don't know your values very well, you could do that. By year 12, you'll know your values and you'll be able to do it. So where he puts his soloing is sort of in here, where the guitar is doing its phrases and its riffs there. So they're talking to each other. Does that make sense? Let's listen to that. It's a simple figure. The guitar's actually holding the end of its phrases and the bass is playing underneath it while it's still holding the notes. Alright, so today we have broken down how you might respond to one of these questions.
How many marks are these questions going to be?
Depends on the exam. So if we're talking year 11, year 12, there'll be about 3 of these, which will be a bit smaller than what we did today because we're covering 3 different elements of music and we went quite deep. There'll be 3 of those ish, and they're generally worth about a third of the exam. That being said, the VCE curriculum changes next year, so it might be slightly different. For your year 10 exam, it'll be just analysis stuff, but the first few questions will be guided ones, a bit like your practice ones, and then I'll have some of these as well. These ones are designed to, they sort of sort the wheat from the chaff, if that makes sense, because you've got nothing to guide you, and you've got to go on what I'm teaching you now in terms of structuring it yourself. Yep. So this is for the higher order students who can do that themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Oh. Let's try and stop.